Well, hey, this is Josh Nelson with Seven Figure Agency. I hope that you and your family are staying safe with the whole situation that's going on here with the coronavirus. And I wanted to give you some ideas and insights on how to not only survive this situation, but to really thrive. And so I pulled together a group, what I call a roundtable of highly successful digital marketing agencies on kind of what they're doing, how they're approaching this situation, how they're thinking about it, and what you can do to really make sure you're positioned to emerge from this as strong or stronger than when you started. Check it out. I think, as it relates to this, running agencies, the next thing we all need to think about after mindset is client retention, right? We've got clients. We want to try and serve them as well as possible. We want to try and retain them as high as possible. What are you guys doing from a retention perspective to retain your clients? And we'll start with Alan. What kinds of things are you doing there?
Not sure if I'm the best person to ask that question, considering my niche. Fortunately, I'm not experiencing cancellations. What I've been doing is I've been focusing on sales, and basically, there is not only an increase in deaths caused by the virus, there's an increase in deaths caused by higher levels of stress, depression, and anxiety in our society, resulting in higher mortality rates than normal. And I don't say this in a positive way or a good way, but it's a busy time for funeral directors. And increasing their visibility now will put them in a position to help more families that are facing a very difficult time right now. And that is helping me make more sales because they see that this is a good time for me to be more visible, to allow my strengths and what I know, and walk these families through a very difficult time in their lives. As far as retraining my clients or retention, I'm not having that problem right now.
It's just they're not seeing it as an issue, so it's not even a blip on the radar for them.
No, with what's going on, no.
Okay, excellent. Let's go to you, Jim. Now, Aline.
So what we're doing with retaining clients, the first thing that I did is I reached out and tried to get every single one of the owners on the phone individually and have a conversation and figure out the mindset that they were in. And then from there, we kind of developed plans individually, like, hey, this company's not worried about anything. They're still full steam ahead. There's nothing to worry about there. There's another company over here that is a company, for instance, that just got started with us. Their website isn't even launched yet, and they're in a state in a location that got on lockdown really quick. And in roofing, there was rules. Construction has been an essential service in most of the places that are getting locked down. But in this specific case, they said, we don't want you doing re-roofs, but you can do roof repairs, right, in his area. So, we're just shifting everything for him, putting together, social media strategies around it, individually, client by client, figuring out what they need. For that client specifically, I said, hey, let's do a reduced fee for you on a month-to-month basis through this crisis, but you have to commit that reduction in fee to social media marketing instead, right? So we're trying to help them as much as we can individually, depending on where they're at. So that's kind of how we've been handling it. We've had to adjust our fees for a couple of people. We've had to add services for others, but it's just on an individual basis, figuring out exactly what they need and how we can help them in that regard.
I like it. So getting in touch with all the clients, figuring out where they're at mentally. Are they worried? Are they stressed? Do they feel good? And then adjusting and building a plan specifically for them based on that.
For them. That's right. Specifically for them and their, the fears that they're facing around, what's happening in their area, because every location, we're, coast to coast, every location's a little bit different. Talked to one of our clients the first time I called. He's like, oh, I was at the restaurant last night. It's like, we've been shut down for a week here. That's you're in a whole different you're in a different place than a lot of other people are. So making sure you understand what they're going through
Yeah.
personally, right?
And out of your client base, the retention's been pretty good so far. You haven't had a massive.
We haven't lost any clients. We have one client that we paused all services for, and we've done a reduction in fees on a couple of others in relation to that. So our monthly recurring, we've reduced our monthly recurring by about 10% right now.
Okay.
In response to these clients, but no one is leaving.
Right. It might be a temporary setback for some of them.
That's right. Yep.
Good share. Thank you. Let's go to Brian Stearman.
You're muted.
Still muted. Sorry, man.
Here we go. Now it works. All right. Yeah. So I'm also in a what's considered an essential business in most states. There are a few states that we've had customers that completely shut down, but for the most part, everyone's an essential, or at least at this point considered essential. We've had, kind of like roofing. There, depending on what aspect of the landscape industry they're in, depends on how much this is impacting them. So if they're real heavy into design build, that type of stuff, those type of guys, when the economy's down, they're, people aren't spending $20,000 to redo their backyard. So we're working with clients on a one-by-one basis and making adjustments to billing and services offered and things like that based on their necessary, what they need for them, their family, their employees. We had one of our employees or one of our customers lay off 14 employees last week. So we actually donated our fee, $100 to each customer, and or to each one of their employees, and just said, hey, help take care of your employees as opposed to pay us this month. So it's just a way of giving back. I mean, we haven't lost a lot, so we're in a position to do that. I know there's other agencies that aren't as fortunate as us during this time. So, we're just trying to do whatever we can and really make it about the people. And, it's not about the business right now. It's about your customers and the relationships. And in my mind, that's what's going to pay forward in the end.
100%. Good share. Josh?
Yeah, so we've lost 2 small customers in our legacy agency. Our retention plan, and we jumped right on it with some emails through we use MailChimp. Our open rate, however, has been is low. Everybody's inundated. I don't know how everybody else in the panel and the participants how your emails are, but my email is flooded with COVID-19 policy changes and whatever. So we're taking a different tact. Actually, by the end of the business day today, we'll be sending an email to all of our clients directly from Andy, because they all respond to his emails. Andy's my partner. For those of you who don't know, that is going to be the first in a series of things that they should do. So what we've come up with is a half a dozen things that are either we can do for you, you just need to tell us what you want us to do, fill in the blank, or later on it's going to be DIY stuff. These are things that you need to be doing for yourself, or could be or should be doing, depending on what type of business it is. Obviously, a dentist is going to be different than a pressure wash company, right? But I'm actually developing a checklist based on yesterday's call that I will share, Josh, with you to share through to the group, a checklist of that you can actually just give this checklist of DIY things that your clients can do. So the position is that you, again, getting back to that leadership position, that you want to be a leader for your clients and also take it to another level of creativity that prior to this or heretofore has not been done before. I had that conversation this morning with the entire staff for a plastic surgery client. They loved what I had to say. They're going to actually implement everything I had on my list. So they're going to be working with our team on some of it, on the stuff we can do, and then the DIY stuff. They're going to do it all. They loved everything I had to say. So we're just taking it to another level of creativity And again, I'll share that list. And when we get further down, actually, here, let me just throw out one nugget. Not sure, Jimmy, this might have come from you yesterday. I'm not sure, but I instructed the doctor and or his two closest staff members to call every single past client patient. Ask them personally how they're doing. Let them know that they're here for them. And oh, by the way, when this is all said and done and over, we're going to have extended hours to meet your needs and actually even work on weekends for you. So they love that idea.
Good stuff. So it's kind of getting out in front of it and kind of mapping a custom plan and giving them ideas on what they can do to stay ahead of the situation.
That's very well said.
Love it. Danny?
Yeah, thank God, 100% retention. We have had Google Ads reductions for a couple of clients, and it's funny. This is what's funny. So SEO is our core competency. There's one thing we shine and we rise up to the top is SEO. However, over the past few months, I've been shifting to leading with pay-per-click and paid, Facebook ads and pay-per-click. And I was to the point where I was starting to white label and outsource a lot of the SEO stuff. And I was thinking about shutting down my SEO team as a whole and just deal with white label stuff. And it just happens to be that my team, everything we've done for our clients has been the thing that's kept us all aboard, because we lead in with that, setting expectations and the value that clients get. And we plant those seeds from the very beginning. This is what's going to happen. And, I've always had that conversation, and I always bring this up. Hey, do you remember 2008? What happened back then? Well, when you're up on Google search, it doesn't matter if you're running ads or not. But if you're up on top, you're still going to get calls. Yeah, it may not be 100 calls a month, but you're still going to get calls. So that kind of those are the conversations we've been having, where you need to maintain your positions. Things are going to be great. We're doubling down. We're doing additionally this or that. Adding a bit more automation, which a lot of the archaic guys, they don't like all the technology, believe it or not. Like my niche is still a few years behind when it comes to adapting technology. Stubborn guys, but at the same time, that stubbornness, if I can sell to that stubbornness, they stick around because they're so stubborn in their ways. So I've used that and I've leveraged that to my advantage. Are we going to stick this out together? And that those sort of conversations. So I've taken that into the conversation. So far so good. I shared this yesterday as well. One of my first clients, he's been around for a while. We've grown tremendously. He's expanded to regional from a statewide to now he's a regional client. Big business. And he told me, hey, you were there when I was trying to grow my company online. Now I want you to effing remember me, that I'm going to stick around, through this tough time. So that was very encouraging for me to hear a couple of days ago. So that's yeah.
I love it. Great stuff. Let's go to Jimmy.
So to give you an idea, numbers wise, I mean, we've got about 120 clients paying us between $2,000 and $5,200 a month, and mostly orthodontists, mostly dentists, some audiology, some podiatry, one plastic surgeon. But give you an idea of the range, mostly orthodontists and dentists who have been forced to shut down in most instances other than emergencies, and some are like donating their masks and their PPE, their personal protective equipment, for the COVID-19. So, so far we have 9 people that have either paused or we've discounted in some sort of way, which to the tune of about $15,000 a month. It's about 5% of our recurring revenue that we get in, about 7.5% of our clients. So it is our lower paying clients that are pausing. That's really helping me with retention, I believe, is getting out in front of situations in terms of the information to the client. So I started with an email right away, then a video. Now we're doing weekly webinars where it's just simple Q&A. And, I built the company so that we have about 25 to 30 accounts per account manager. So they're reaching out to the client, but then my overarching philosophy is coming across in the webinars and in the dialogue. And you know, I don't beat around the bush. The elephant in the room is you know, my practice is closed. I'm cutting unneeded expenses. What can you do for me, Jimmy Marketing? And they'll say, like, my house payment got deferred, but my business loan didn't. You know, what can Jimmy Marketing do for me? And first and foremost, I acknowledge that. I say, you know, it's very, very smart. You as a business owner, going down the list of, you know, unneeded expenses, I'd be doing the same exact thing because I would want to be putting it into growth. And I don't look at the marketing as an expense. It's an investment. So first and foremost, I would keep it and I'd actually increase it. And I would go down the line and talk to them about, you know, the Google cost per click that we're seeing, the click costs go down because competition is down, costs have gone down. And these are the people are getting your website only when they're, you know, interested in what it is that you offer. So why on earth would you ever turn off Google Ads? That's like I don't think I said dumbest, but I may have. Facebook, I'm going to increase the ad spend because where is everybody? Everybody's at home. They have no social interaction. They're going on Facebook. And the advertisers aren't there. The costs are down. Let's get on Facebook. Let's maintain SEO. Let's maintain retargeting. You know, 100, 200 bucks a month, and you're all over the internet for the hottest people that have been to your website for top of mind awareness. You got to do it. One thing we haven't done really in the past is YouTube ads. I'm telling them, let's test YouTube ads. And then I really make them get it into perspective and say, look, we haven't laid anybody off. We haven't furloughed employees. Matter of fact, we started a new employee last Tuesday. And, you know, I got people working at 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, me included, updating websites, getting announcements out. And 3 other employees are working with me side by side. We're fighting for you. Don't you want us on your side here? You can't crawl under the covers and do nothing. You got to fight. This is your chance to gain market share. And what's your plan today for your existing patients? You know, are you interacting with them in any sort of capacity? Yeah, you're closed. Let's talk about virtual consults. So we found a resource, doxy.me. It was like the 3rd one we ended up going with that one. We've been doing virtual consults for years for these people, but it hasn't taken off until now. And, you know, clients are actually getting consults already. So we're using that as a success story. I see you got to stay in touch with your existing clients. And Josh, I'm so glad you're able to use that today. That's awesome that they were able to get some value out of that. And, you know, stay in touch. Use the video conferencing that's available to you. Be of service. You're going to be there for your patients so they can pay you. So subconsciously they're thinking, well, if Jimmy Marketing is doing all this work, I should really pay them, right? And they want to. And then don't you want to build that pipeline so when it does open up that you're there? And let's use your digital assets. Let's get your book out there for free right now. Your digital book, you know, all the different things. And they got to be the best for their patients, and we have to be the best for them. So it's that motivating thing, but there were some actionable things in there. And if a client reaches out to me, I always empathize with them. But then, you know, I go down that path of really what they should be doing, how they should be thinking about this. And, you know, it's that confidence and leading to them. I think if we look at that checklist that Josh has, you know, that checklist gives them a plan of action. And, you know, Wayne Gretzky skates to where the puck is going to be, not where it's been. So he's giving them hope. He's giving them activity that not only they can do as a client, but what we're going to do for them. So if you're positioning yourself as, look, we're working our balls off here for you, not because we want to. I mean, because we want to. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we got to do. So that sort of fight and that sense of hope, you got to make the marketing make sense. So they're not just going to market, you know, get a free smile consultation like they normally do. It's got to be video appointment with a doctor, you know, and make it make sense so that you can get that revenue in. I know this was on retention. I think it's important. Brian brought up earlier around they have the time right now. One of our biggest challenges with clients, especially busy doctors, they never give us the time in the beginning of the project that we need. Well, now's the perfect time. Well, they don't have no money. So what we're doing is we're doing 0% financing on a credit card, breaking up the payments for them, avoiding discounts, throwing in different bonuses as much as possible to get people to yes, so that we can keep our people on the build side of our business, busy as well. But they've picked up on the virtual consult, and people are busy and everything. But I think it's that type of leadership that people need right now to lead them to where that puck's going to go.
No doubt. Some great insights here on how to retain the client base. Want to have you guys take for a second, kind of encapsulate what you took away from a retention perspective. While you're typing in, I'll say, some of the things that we're doing and that really stuck with me with what these guys said is you've got to get in touch with the clients right now. Now is the time to get every client on the phone or on a Zoom meeting, check in with them, let them know you're there for them, and let them know what you're going to be working on, right? Because everybody's thinking right now, no matter how successful they are, no matter how flush their bank account is, they're thinking, what expenses can I reduce right now? How can I reduce my overhead? Right? I'm going to suggest you do the same here in a second. But the reality is you have to know the difference between an expense and an investment, right? Things that are just draining your account versus things that you put out that are going to make you money, right? And so you have to kind of talk into the mindset for them, right? You guys are hearing some mindset training here. The reality is your clients are watching Fox News and CNN and they're stressed out and they think the world's coming to an end. So you almost have to train their mindset that this too shall pass. And the smart business owners are taking action now that's going to position them for success in Q3, Q4, and beyond, right? If you can get them to see that there's opportunity on the horizon, now's the time to be, going deeper with the SEO strategy, going deeper with their pay-per-click campaign, capitalizing on the lower cost per click and the lower cost per impression. And, introduce one or two new things you're going to do as a company to help them out, right? So we're talking to our clients about a 10-mile domination strategy, or we're going to really pump on Facebook and make sure that they're showing up in the 10-mile radius that they serve. It's something new that we haven't done in the past, and it's really rallying our clients around it. So over-communicate, get one-on-one with your clients, bring out new ideas and strategies, and retention, you'll be able to retain even in a tough vertical. Go ahead, Josh.
I just wanted to add one thing, maybe some language that would help, because the initial reaction for almost everyone, and that includes everybody on this panel, is contraction, right? That's the first thing you have to think is contraction. And it's counterintuitive, and use that language, counterintuitive to think expansion. But that's exactly what they need to do, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Nice. I like that. That's good. That's good languaging. So a lot of good comments in here. Leadership mindset, making sure that they're focused on retention.
Oh, one other thing, Josh.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I am not one to follow politics and get involved with it, but I have been paying attention and summarizing it for our clients in certain instances on the webinar, and giving them information around loans and how to get 0% credit cards and financing, and helping them so that they believe and know that I'm the trusted authority, and that don't worry about like the business stuff. I'm going to give you resources beyond even the digital marketing, and just providing value to them in any way that you can, so that one, you come across smart, but you're helping them because they got a lot going on too.
Yeah. Another thing is, shared experience creates loyalty and it creates bonds. So the clients that you do retain during this shared experience of crisis, and if you help bring them through it, not only are they going to stick with you in the short run, but their likeliness of sticking with you in the long run is significantly greater. So really, really, take advantage of this opportunity. Go ahead, Jim.
We've done that also in thinking of anything that could help them on a broad scale. So I got with one of the top CRMs in our agency and did a podcast episode with them, blasted that out about how to work virtually. Along with that, now we've been in communication with the top CRM in our industry, so starting to develop that relationship. I brought on an SBA disaster loan expert from New York who was did a lot of work in the SBA disaster loans when Sandy came through, and had a conversation about that we're now, providing that information, that anything that we can think of that not only our clients, but people in our industry or business, business owners in general could find useful at this time. We want to be the ones bringing them that information.
Great point. Yes, I mean, the stuff that's coming out with the stimulus bill and the SBA disaster relief, you just put that into an email and send it off. Hey, we know it's tough times. We know you're going to have to make some tough decisions. Here's some resources to help you out. And that information is readily available. I'll put it in the group. That way everybody has access to it, because I think that's a great idea. Don't feel like, everybody knows this information and it's already out there. Take it, send it to your client base or to your industry and say, hey, look, here's the information you need in order to take advantage of that stimulus bill or in order to take advantage of that disaster relief fund. Well, I hope you got value from that video. You got some good ideas and insights that you can go back and implement. And you might still be thinking, like, how do I proceed? What do I need to do next? I just want you to know I put together an action plan on what you should be doing to truly maximize your potential as it relates to prospecting, as it relates to client retention, as it relates to managing your team, as it relates to contingency planning. And if you want to download that, you can just go to sevenfigureagency.com/action plan, no dash, sevenfigureagency.com/action plan. There you can download the action plan and really get the step-by-step instructions on how to really take your agency from a potential place of struggle to really being able to thrive in this environment. So go out there, be successful, keep your mindset in the right place. Let me know how I can help serve and support you. And grab the action plan at sevenfigureagency.com/action plan. Stay safe.